obviously going to be great to be home. Excited about the fan support that we've received. On track to have a near sellout, which would be a great environment. Obviously playing a very quality SEC team that's been ranked in the top 25 for most of the season. Coach Stoops does an absolutely tremendous job as a head coach. Obviously, they've got one of the most talented quarterbacks in the country, one of the most talented running backs in the country. They got one of the best defenses in the country, so it's going to be a tremendous challenge for our team, and we got a lot of work cut out for us. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
We'll begin with Kenny Van Doren of the Columbia Missourian.
Hey, Eli. Chad Bailey told me yesterday that you kind of let him go back to Houston on Thursday for a personal matter. What was that kind of like for you to allow him to kind of escape for a little bit?
Yeah, obviously it's bigger than football. And football is what we do, but who we are as humans and how we live, to me, is just as important. And he was going through something that he felt like he really needed to get closure on, and in order for him to be the best version of himself, I felt like it was important for us. And whether or not he was able to play in the game or not, that wasn't what was most important to me. Chad being whole and healing from his situation was a lot more important. So that was kind of the decision-making process.
Thank you, Eli.
Next is Bob Foley, the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette.
Hey, Eli, how you doing?
Good, Bob.
Hey, I saw where Barrett Bannister went over 1,000 career receiving yards. Pretty good milestone for a former walk. I just wondering what your thoughts were on that.
Yeah, Barrett's had an outstanding career. Really appreciate him coming back for his 6th or 15th year in college football. I'm not sure, but was just named to the semifinalists for the Warfel Award, and obviously I hope he gets a lot of consideration for the Burlsworth Award. I know that to him means a lot, but he's been a really good player, voted captain of our football team. A guy that exudes a lot of what it means for us to be a Tiger.
Thanks.
Next is Steve Moulton of WZZN.
Coach, appreciate the time. Congratulations on the win this past weekend.
Thank you.
Wanted to ask, coming off that win, especially seeing your post-game press conference and just talking on the field as well, it seemed like there was a lot of joy in that locker room. Is that fair to say, Coach?
Yeah, I think anytime you work as hard as college football players do, the fun is in the winning. And you work so hard to get a result and to be able to cut it loose and enjoy it, because as soon as you put on the film, there's going to be a lot of work to correct things, because it's always a quest for constant improvement. So, immediately after a game and in that locker room is really when that time is that you can just celebrate the win with nothing else weighing on you.
And moving forward with Kentucky, what impresses you most about this Wildcat defense that this offense of yours is going to face, Coach?
Well, we've gone against these guys for 2 seasons, and a lot of the same characters show up on tape. So they're a veteran group. I mean, their 2 edge players are both 6'5" or better and 240 pounds, and so they condense a lot of throwing windows. I mean, they single-handedly flipped the Florida game on its head with 2 turnovers, one of them for a touchdown. And so, for us, a team that's turned the ball over and put our defense in bad positions, this defense certainly creates opportunities in that way that we have to avoid. They're very physical up front. They've got a good linebacking core. They've got Keydron Smith, who's a transfer corner that can pretty much guard anybody in the conference. So a lot of good players, really good scheme. That's always a challenge.
Thank you, Coach.
If there are any other questions for Coach, please press 1-0. We have a follow-up from Steve Moulton.
I do, Coach. After facing Auburn earlier in the year, I cannot help but ask of what happened down on the Plains with Coach Harsin being let go earlier in the week.
Yeah, obviously there's a personal side and there's a fan side and a business side. of this profession. I think Coach Harsin is a tremendous football coach. Obviously, he displayed that in his abilities to win conference championships at two other previous schools. Obviously think he's a good person and had to deal with some very difficult situations down there. And I really think more about his family and the rest of that staff's family, because there is a personal side. Obviously, the fandom side and the business side, that's up to that university and those fan bases to make those decisions. And in our profession, we get paid handsomely to have to deal with it. But, whatever choice they made, that's on them. But, from a personal side and from all the people that are there that are affected, obviously, I knew a lot of those guys on that staff and even the people in the administration. So I know it's a hard time for everybody, and it's unfortunate.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach, we'll finish you out with AP Stedham of WHEP.
Hi, Coach.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, good, Coach. Thank you very much. Coach, I wanted to ask you, what are some of the things your team did on the road that led to that victory that you hadn't done in the past? And would you assess your quarterback at this moment, Brady Cook?
Well, I think the number one thing is we didn't turn the ball over. If you look at the previous three road games, I think Kansas State, we had 4 turnovers and a punt return for a touchdown. Against Auburn, we had 2 turnovers. One was returned, which ended up surrendering a touchdown. And then obviously we fumbled at the goal line, which would have been the difference in winning and losing the game. And then at Florida, we had a pick 6 for a touchdown and a punt return for like 60 yards to set up another score. So, I mean, to me, that's the difference right there. All of those games were lost by 1 score, and you could take 14 points off the board had you not created self-inflicted wounds. As far as evaluating our quarterback, I mean, look, at the end of the day, this is a play-to-play business, and he handled his business quite well against South Carolina, and he threw the vertical ball well and was very comfortable in making sound decisions in both running the football and throwing the football, and so we look for that to continue to grow.